am so excited to introduce our flag assembly program today, and especially our two special guests. We have with us today a veteran of the United States Army and a veteran of the Israeli Defense Force. So representing both countries that we identify with here at CTA. Here, standing to my right, is retired Lieutenant Colonel Jason Molnar. He served in the war in Iraq. How many years ago was that? 15?
Yeah, 2007 to 2009.
Yeah, so he's going to tell you a little bit about himself and about that. And in that work, serving our country, he did a lot of what he did was about honoring and defending our flag. Our other special guest, if I might ask you to stand up for a moment, is Mora Eva. Yeah, you can give her a hand. Mora Eva, can you tell us, were you Captain Eva Chaikin? Was that your name at that time?
No, it was Eva Lugasi.
Okay, here, say the whole title for it.
I was Captain Lugasi before. Okay, wonderful.
So she also served for a few years in Israel. And so she'll tell you a little bit about that experience and about the Israeli flag and what you can do to honor and maintain the dignity of the Israeli flag as well. So I want you to listen really carefully because you will probably hear some similarities and some differences between how Americans and Israelis honor their flags. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Let's give a warm welcome to our guests today.
Good morning, everyone. Can everyone hear me? You gentlemen in the back. That's what I used to say. You guys hear me good? Good. I don't really need a microphone because I can use my Army voice and yell, but I'll give everyone the benefit of the doubt and use the microphone this morning. So what we're going to talk about today is the importance of honoring the American flag. And I think it's a privilege to be able to be here and talk to you all today because it's not something that I think a lot of kids know, including I've got one of my children there, and I've got two more in school today, and I think it's something that doesn't get talked about enough. So we're going to talk about why the American flag is a powerful symbol of our nation. Before we get started, look at that guy. Can you believe that used to be me right there with no beard? Look at this. This is what happens after the army, okay? All right, so it's not a bad thing. It's just I wanted facial hair, now I have it. So that top picture right there, I'm in the middle. I've got my hand on my rifle there. That was after our first firefight. We won, they did not. And so that picture is us after about a 9-hour firefight back and forth with Al-Qaeda in Iraq. That picture to the right is an official command photo when I was going up for an award. They had me get a command photo. So I've got my face shaved, and that's what it looks like when you're in uniform. So who am I? Let's read a little bit about that. So I'm a retired U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel, reconnaissance and intelligence officer. How those are related: reconnaissance finds the bad guys. We're very quiet. We then tell people where they are, and then we get them. Intelligence, on the other side, we can find bad guys using sensors from above, using technology, computers, satellites. And so I used both of those things throughout my career. I served in Operation Iraqi Freedom 2007-2009, longest single deployment in all of Operation Iraqi Freedom. And then I'm a husband and a father of 3 beautiful children. My lovely wife is right here in front, Adrian. I have Juniper, who's up front with me in yellow. I have my son Maximus in school today, 5 years old, my daughter Louisa. And I am a member of the North Eastmoor Community and parishioner of St. Catherine of Siena. So if you live in Bexley or you live in Eastmoor, I'm your neighbor. I'm right down the street, okay? So let's start off with this. This is the interactive portion of the presentation where I'm going to ask you some questions. I'm looking right at you. I'm looking at Mr. Shades right there. All right, you caught my eye. You caught my eye with the shades that caught the light, buddy. All right, so tell me what you know about the American flag. What do you guys know? Man in front, go ahead. It's 50 stars. What do the 50 stars represent? 50 stars represent what? You right there. You're close. I know what you want to say. All the states. Excellent job. Well done. Okay, what else do we know about the flag? I'm going to go over here. Give me right there. One more time. Yeah, okay. And what about you?
It has 13 stripes.
That's right. 13 stripes. Okay, let's go one more. The original colonies, right there. You got it, 13 original colonies. And then I'll go into what the colors mean now, right? I've got a little thing I'll read off about that. But it's good to know about your flag, because you would be surprised when I ask people, tell me about the flag. They don't really know what the stars represent. I talked to someone a month ago, and they didn't realize the stars represented 50 states, right? So we have 50 states or territories. So we'll go on to the next. All right, so the history of the American flag. You want to talk about the 13 original colonies? That is what it used to look like. That circle right there. The original 13. The first American flag may have been commissioned by General George Washington or one of his deputies. I say may because there's a little bit of controversy around that. But I'm going to give George Washington credit. I'm a big George Washington fan. Okay? Legend attributes the design to Betsy Ross. She was a flag maker in Philadelphia. And George Washington, one of his deputies, took what they wanted to be the continental standard. And she was the one that came up with these stars in the circle, right? No colony is greater than the other. We are unified in our effort against the British at the time. So the flag has changed over time, with stars added as new states. And the last one, the 50-star flag, nice job. July 4th, 1960, when Hawaii became the 50th state. So there are currently 50 stars because of Hawaii, and it's the 50th state. So let's talk about a little symbolism of the flag, right? So if you look at that flag on the left, it's initially designed for liberty, justice, and democracy, right? Who knows what any of those words mean? I know those can be some big words. Maybe right there. Go ahead.
Justice is like equal, equality.
Okay. Okay. No, you're trying. It's good. It's hard to explain, right? Right there. Go ahead.
Liberty is freedom.
Liberty is freedom. Scoreboard. Nice job. All right. Who else? Anyone over here? Okay. So these words are very important, right? You still see those sprinkled throughout our Constitution. As you guys study the Constitution, you'll see those everywhere. So on June 14, 1777, the Continental Congress passed the flag resolution adopting the Stars and Stripes as the national flag. That was the original name. All right, this is a quiz, and I'll be honest with you, the answer is already on the slideshow. When is Flag Day every year? Right there.
Me?
Yes, you.
July 4th.
Negative, Ghost Rider. That is America's Independence Day. Right there.
Okay.
No, it's on the slide. Hint, hint. In the back. June 14th, winter chicken dinner, right there, okay? This is amazing, all right? So the day the flag was originally adopted on June 14th, it is still Flag Day. Some people hear Flag Day and they go, what is Flag Day? Well, Flag Day is a celebration of the Second Continental Congress's passage, making the Stars and Stripes the official flag. Okay. So we talked a little bit about the Stars and Stripes, what they represent. Let me just read you a couple things, okay? So, according to Charles Thompson, who was the Secretary of the Continental Congress in 1782, that's a long time ago. The colors of the pales, or the vertical stripes, are those used in the flag of the United States of America. White signifies purity and innocence, red, hardiness and valor, and blue, the color of the chief. The broad band above the stripes signifies vigilance, perseverance, and justice. So that's what the flag was designed. That is so many years ago, right? It was this design came out, it was for a purpose. It was to unify the colonies. It was to bring people together and show that though we were once part of a British colony, we were separated, we were becoming our own people. That's why the circle of the stars is so important, the unification of those colonies. Okay. Here's my favorite part. So, more quizzes. And I've given hints throughout this. George Washington was our first president. He was the first general of a United Continental Army. So, first question, in which American conflict was the first flag flown? So, if it's George Washington, what conflict was that? Are you right there, sir? Any glasses? Great. That's you. Yeah, so what conflict was George Washington? What American war?
When they were fighting off the British.
Yes. Anyone know what that war is called when they're fighting off the British? The American Revolution, also known as the Revolutionary War. Excellent. So, in which conflicts has the U.S. flag been displayed during American history? So conflicts, Vietnam, Operation Desert Storm, Iraqi freedom, Korea, World War I, II. I've seen your hand before. I've seen your hand before. Anyone new? Anyone new? How about you? Oh, I really thought that was a hand. I was very excited. Okay. All right, if you've got it, go ahead.
Wait, did you already say
Sure. In which conflicts has the U.S. flag been flown?
Did you already say World War I?
Yes. So here's I'll give you the answer. So that was the first that was flown. It was flown in all U.S. conflicts. So every conflict the United States has ever had has been flown. And then the last part of this, and I'll get to the next slide, is why does this flag patch on the Army uniform face in the direction as shown? A lot of people think it's backwards. So let's find out. The flag is never backwards. What you see here is a picture during the American Civil War of an artist who was sitting on the field and sketched a painting of the American Union Army charging in battle. So the flag is never backwards. It faces forward to denote charging in a battle, much like the depiction of the Union Army charging in the Civil War. The blue of the Union flag is attached to the pole leading the way forward in the charge, and the red and white stripes trail behind. So no retreat, no surrender. That is why on this picture, that flag is this way. Because the U.S. Army, the U.S., when we charge forward in the battle, we don't retreat. All right? So that's why, if you've ever wondered, now you know. All right, we'll keep moving. Okay, so one of the things that's important to me is you folks understand what it means for honoring those who have served in the military. And these are some ways you can do that. So in that picture of the flag over the casket there, that is a military officer. That is at Arlington Memorial Cemetery, and that cart it's on is called a caisson, and there's a horse in front of it that's pulling it. What happens when a military officer dies is that casket with the flag over it is put on a horse-drawn caisson, and then they take it to the grave. It sits there for about 30 minutes while several songs are played, and then those pallbearers, those men in uniform over there, will come pick it up and they'll take it to the gravesite. That is a very solemn, a very memorable experience if you ever see it, right? So that is a very respectful way the flag is shown. Another right there is a woman holding the flag from her husband's funeral, a U.S. soldier that was killed. So she has given that flag at the ceremony, and that flag will stay with her for the rest of her life. Many times the flag that is given has been part of the individual's unit, or it is flown in battle, and the person who receives the flag gets to hold on to that and put it in a case. So the flag is displayed at funerals, Memorial Days, and Veterans Day, and folding the flag in a specific way, like that triangle right there, honors the fallen heroes as a sign of respect. And it's very much a sign that represents the sacrifices made by our veterans. That picture with those gentlemen raising the flag is the Battle of Iwo Jima, one of the bloodiest battles of World War II. 36 days, 6,000 U.S. dead, 27,000 U.S. casualties. And that is the moment that those Marines, my grandfather's unit, my grandfather was somewhere there, but not in that picture, raised that flag to denote they had taken the island from the Japanese. And that flag meant a lot then, and it still means a lot now. And so unity, the flag is meant to unite Americans regardless of background or battle. That means a lot to me, because when I led soldiers, I didn't care where they were or who they were from or what they looked like, as long as they were Army Green. Right? That was what I needed. And then patriotism, the flag is a symbol of our shared heritage and commitment to each other. And it represents our strength and resilience. So what are ways you and others can honor the American flag? And we'll get to some ways right here, since we're coming up on time here shortly. The national anthem, when that national anthem is played, right? The Star Spangled Banner, you stand up, you put your hand on your heart, you usually face towards the flag, at least that's what I do. You display the flag correctly, and I'll get into some do's and don'ts here in a second. You respect the fallen heroes, the veterans. It's very important to me as a veteran to respect the flag. I know the U.S. Constitution gives us the right to express ourselves, but I don't like to see people hurt my flag. And there's actually a U.S. code that says they shouldn't, but every once in a while people take it their own way. All you can do is try to prevent that and teach others respect for the flag. And you can also have it at retirement ceremonies as well. So there are some consequences, right? Disrespecting the flag can be seen as dishonoring those who serve and protecting the nation. And frankly, it does cause division and conflict. It doesn't matter what side of that you're on, it's by definition a division. So here's a green light, red light. This is the way I understood things when I was a kid. So stoplight chart, right? Don't wear the flag, but do wear flag apparel. So if you have a flag hat, if you have a flag shirt, flag shorts, flag pants, that's all good. But the U.S. Code actually says you should not wear the flag. And if you ever see athletes wear it after they win, they put it around themselves, that's okay because you're allowed to do it. It says you can't do it in a permanent, a fixed manner. So you can do it briefly to show your patriotism and then get the flag where it needs to be. Don't display the flag at night without illumination. You can see that picture there, that flag is illuminated, it's lit up. But do display the flag if you have it lit up and illuminated. Don't let the flag touch the ground, but do keep it from touching the ground and handling it. It's seen as disrespectful to let the flag touch the ground when you handle it. Do not let the flag fly upside down, but do display vertically and properly. And don't let the flag, don't fly when it's dirty, but do fly a clean flag, free of damage, dirt, torn, shredded, and faded. I have seen a lot of flags that are torn, faded, and shredded. There are all sorts of companies that will send free flags to people for that. The U.S. actually pays for that in two particular companies. One is Scowcraft. So if you ever seen a damaged flag, you can let that person know. They can order one for free off of Scowcraft's website. All right, so we talked about the importance of the American flag, right? The American flag represents our national ideals and sacrifices. It's a way to show gratitude, commitment to your fellow man and woman, unity and patriotism. And so we're near the end here. I think you're very blessed to have two flags and two homelands. I'm very jealous that you get the best, right? You get wonderful Israel, you have the United States. I served in Israel for about 6 months in Haifa, right? During 2012, it was an exercise called Operation Austere Challenge, and then it became a real Israeli conflict called Pillar of Defense, and I served there alongside Israeli counterparts. We'll get to you in one moment, I promise. All right? So in conclusion, I think it's good to know that we can honor both flags, right? American flag stands treated with respect that it deserves, and now that you know the American flag means more than just some different colors on the fabric. And if you don't know about the flag, I challenge you to learn some more outside this presentation. Okay, what was your question? That's amazing. I know. What about you? You can wash a flag. That's a great question. I like the way your brain's working. That's a great question. You can wash a flag. You can wash a fabric flag, right? There's specific ways you should do it. I think you're supposed to actually hand wash it if you can, but some of the synthetic flags you can't. But you can wash it. If it is really dirty or ripped and torn, you're supposed to get a new flag. Okay. Yeah, I'll do one more question. Right there, go ahead.
What would the color be?
All right. So the colors. I have that right here for you. We talked about the colors, right? We talked a little bit about white signifies purity and innocence, red, hardiness and valor, blue, the color of the chief or the president, and it signifies vigilance, perseverance, and justice. All right, so that's 15 minutes. You've heard from me, and I get to hear from someone way cooler that you already know. All right, so thank you for letting me speak to you guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your service. So I'm Moreva,
And I will start
before a little bit.
So I was serving in the Israeli army. I was a captain, and I was serving in the Jordan Valley as a personnel officer. For me, it's very special for me to talk about it. I was the first officer in my family, and as a little girl, seeing my grandparents, who I lost one of my uncles in Yom Kippur War, for me it was important when we looked at the Israeli flag and when we honored the fallen. So for me, it was something very important to become an officer. It was to be different and to try to help the one who serves in the most efficient way. So I become a personnel officer. officer, and that means that if a soldier has a problem or need to go to the family, I will be there to help them and visit their home and try to help them to take some of the pressure of their home, the social life, so they can perform well in their army. So I have with me a few things. So, what do we know about the flag? What do you know about the flag? Yes. What is it?
There's a star.
It's what?
There's a star in the middle, and it's not like any regular star because it has 6 points, not 5.
Okay, so
And I
you have with me, yes, this is our, so this is the flag is a sheet of cloth. So it symbolizes the country, and this is, like we saw before, it's for what? What country it represents? Israel, right. So, the Israeli flag is represent Am Yisrael. It represents the Jewish people, the culture, our history, and our history. And the first, it was designed in 1891. So, we are right now in 2025. How many years ago? Yes?
34.
No?
What?
1891.
19 or 18?
1891.
Oh, 18. I heard
1891, yes. Not 44.
144.
Almost. Yes.
134.
Close. Almost 130.
Please.
8. Almost 8, because Israel this year going to be what? How old is Israel going to be this year?
76.
No?
77.
70.
77.
Raise your hand. Yes, Miriam? No? Right. No, no, 77. All right. So what I wanted to talk, if you can hear me without this? Oh, I need it. Okay, it's easy. So what I wanted to show you here, when we're finishing army school, training, so don't be one of them. This is something that took me throughout my 4 years serving in the army to stand up. And this is something I think that has, with all of us as Jewish people, we want to do good. We want to present ourselves. We want to be, we just want to, I lost it for a second. Okay, I will continue. Okay, we talked about this. Okay, so those are the people who designed the Israeli flag again in 1891. Israel Lincoln and Michael Alperin. And okay, so before the Israel flag was chosen, there were other possible designs. So what is the common? What do you see something here common? Yes. They all have a star, not stars. Yes. They have stripes. They have what, right? Yes.
They all have blue in it.
There is blue, right? There is color blue, kahol. Ken, Yitzchak? Yes. Ken, Georgie? What is the main symbol here? What do we see everywhere, even here? So this is what we see. This is the Israeli flag of today and what it represents, okay? So the white is for pure and peace. It represents the harmony of the nation. The blue, the tchelet, we sing it on the talit. Everybody know the talit, right? You're 13, and when you're getting married, some of you when 13 can put the talit on, and it's been taken from the talit. And also, it reflects the Gvura Hashem. It's the color blue is the sky color and also the ocean. So we can see with the top blue stripe for the sky and for the ocean, it symbolizes freedom, home, and its connection to the land. Also, the tchelet was one of the dyes that they used in Beit HaMikdash. And the Magen David, we see the Magen David. What's so special about it? Who can tell me what's so special about it? Yeah.
That it's like the stars, like
Okay.
star of Israel. Like Israel.
Okay, so look, if you're looking here, if we pointed, if we connected all the points of the star, it's making a connection. It's sign that the Jewish people in Israel and all over the world are united. Also, it's been taking the blue color from the talit, and also we can see it in the Talmud. Magen Hashem Shield Magen David. So we can see that it symbolizes divine guarding over the nation. So basically, these symbols connect all of us and protecting us, and we have Hashem protection. So we can see here the law of the flag. The law that, so it's on the board when Israel declared as independent. Or no? What year? We talked about it. Yes? Yes.
1970.
On the board? Yes? Yes, 1948. So the Knesset adopted the Zionist movement blue and white star and Star of David flag as the national flag of Israel. And 7 months later, after May 14, 1948, it declared independence. Now, almost a year later, in 1949, it's become a law. It was granted in the constitutional status. Okay? So this is, we can see the size and the ratio of the size that we can, of the flag. Okay. So in Israel, the national flag is required to be presented where? It's in government and public institutes, like educational institutes, schools, universities, also in military bases and security sites, as you can see here. So here's Tel Aviv University, the Knesset, and the Supreme Court. Some example of where. Also, where we can see it all, and in other places. What we see what we're seeing here, where we see the flag also. Yes.
You see it everywhere.
We see it everywhere. So we see it on El Al, okay? It's because El Al is universal, it's flag all over the world, so it's also representing the country. We see it in the Navy SEAL, also on the boats, and on bases. Also we see it all crossing borders in flag, mandatory international, and like in the consulate and national holidays. And what holidays we having flags here? A lot. Yes. Yom HaZikaron and Yom HaAtzmaut, right. So see it here, and also we sing it Israel as well. Okay, so the Israeli flag must be handled according to the law. Okay, it needs to be respectful handling. We need to use it with dignity. When we raising the flag, it will be raised and lowered to avoid movements. When we hoist it, the flag needs to fully unfurl before raising it to ensure it's invisible and untangled. We don't want it to be untangled. And you cannot cover it, you cannot put anything on it. Like the American flag, if you want to put, yes. Okay, that's very nice. Also, it's going to be covered and it must be recognized. It's prohibited. We must not throw the flag on the ground or use it in disrespectful ways. So it's very similar to what Jason said about the American flag. We need to honor it, we need to use it with respect. Also, we cannot wear it unless you have a hat, unless you have a shirt. So it's very similar. I'm not repeat what Jason said. Yes. If it's flipped over, we need to fix it. It has to stand. It cannot be upside down. It must stand up. Okay. So to display the Israeli flag here in the United States, the Israeli flag should not be bigger or placed above the American flag. It can be either the same height. The position of the flag, the Israeli flag and the US flag, separate. We're going to be a separate pose. You can see here, you have the American flag here, we have the Israeli flag back on the other side. They're on the same height. And the American flag should be placed on the observer left side. So you can see here, and the Israeli flag on the right side. And also, like Jackson said, also the Israeli flag cannot be on the floor. So in Yom HaZikaron, when we're lowering the flag here in the shul, we need to make sure that it doesn't touch the floor and to show respect. When we're raising the flag to the top of the mosque, it's to honor and acknowledge the flag's symbolic height and the nation values. And when we, in sad times, we lower it down to the half mast in government buildings and in military bases. So you can see here in the left, to your right left, flags at the top, and then lowering it. Okay, so it's a little bit different in Israel. Who salutes the flag and when? So only officers in uniform, during the lowering the flag or raising the flag, must salute the flag. In ceremonies and they need to face the flag. The Navy personnel salute the flag when they're boarding the ship, and it's a part of the naval tradition. Also, soldiers, enlisted soldiers on uniform when they're serving the Israeli IDF, they do not salute. They just need to stand still as a respect. And you say בעברית עמידת דום. Okay? You can say it. Can you say עמידת דום? Okay, so we can see here, this is my ceremony when I finish officer schools. What do we see here? Who can tell me what we see here? Yes?
There's people in the military and army, saluting the flag.
Right, some of them are and some of them not. So we can see the difference. When you are officer, you can salute. And when you're not officer, you cannot salute. Okay? What else do you see here? There's an Israeli flag. Is it raised up or lowered down? Up, because it is an honor ceremony, and this is why it's up. It's a very special day. Seeing it here. Okay, and this is here me with my friend when we finish the army. Can I show a short video song? Is it possible? For the Israeli
so much. I was so impressed with your knowledge of our flags and your participation. So thank you to everyone who raised your hand and engaged with us today. I gave a little gift to More Eva to thank you, and here's a little gift for Mr. Molnar to thank him as well. We give them all one big round of applause. And thank you for your service on behalf of our countries. We'll let the teachers dismiss with their class, and just so you know, you have a little something to look forward to. Your teachers have a pin for you of the Israeli flag and of the American flag that they will pass out later today when you're back in